Hello, hello. Hey, Mike Mason. You ain't missing it tonight? Okay. Let me get the other microphone. Yeah, sometimes I forget to use the good microphone. Hold on. Let's see. All right, that's probably going to be better. I can control the volume this way. Yep. Let me check the auction real quick. Hey, Jesse. Hello, Napa Maniacs. Yes. We're here because we're Napa Maniacs. Got nothing better to do than to spend our time breaking up rocks. Exploration rocks. Hey. Yep. Let's see how long it takes for the usual suspects to arrive. Let me check the auction. All right, let's see. For some reason, my glasses are dirty or something. Mike Mason. I don't know what that means. I would have loved old time prison. I don't know. Let's see. Where am I? I can't figure out where I am on my phone. There it is. Oh, they broke rocks in prison, right? Yeah, okay. I get you now. Yeah. But then they're not the good kind of rocks. I don't consider those actually I don't know. That didn't even register. Yeah, that kind of rocks. That kind of rock breaking. Let's see. All right, there it is. Auction. Who else is here? We're gonna wait for more people to join in. So Jesse made a comment. Let's see how many replies we've got so far. Yeah, there's not much action on the auction yet. Hey, Kiowa. All righty. Not much action on the auction yet, so we can just blab away. I did buy a book since the last time. Buffalo Birdwoman's Garden. Look at that glare. Gilbert Wilson. I got this one off Amazon, right? The classic account of a Hidasta American Indian gardening techniques. So I was reading this a little bit earlier. What's interesting is the way they used to dry the corn. That's the first thing I noticed. I just skimmed through the book and look at different things really fast. They've got different, farming tools, but this what do they call that? It's called a, let's see, watcher's stage. That's a watcher's stage. I guess they dry the corn on the top of that. I thought that was like a lookout post, but no, they dry the corn on that, and they call it a watcher's stage. Let's see. The stage was placed close to the tree, shading it about a foot from the trunk. Holes for the posts were dug with a long digging stick, and the posts were set firm like fence posts. The stage was made nearly square so that the watchers could sit facing any side with equal ease. The beam supported the floor might be laid east and west, north or south, uh, but as the tree stood always on the south side of the stage, the floor beams lay always in one of these two ways. Let's see. So I was able, let's see what I can read here. So I was a bit late to outing T-bill on my cedar log. Got below 45 last night. About 1/3 is white. Tried finishing it and think the color corrected. Any predictions? I don't know what the color corrected means. The cedar is 1/3 sapwood. I predict that if you don't reseal it, the heartwood will crack. I'm not sure how old your stave is. Hippie Mike, Ash Butter. Let's see. Enjoying life to the best of my abilities, and you all? Yes, we are. All of us are enjoying life to the best of our abilities, and if we don't have much abilities, we'll try to get some more. Mm-hmm. I'm reading this book here, Buffalo Bird Woman's Garden. Buffalo Bird Woman's Garden. Gilbert Wilson, right? So, and I'm looking at this, what they call a watcher's stage, but they dry corn on that. Let's see. I'm going to try to see what's the shade is for on this. They're just describing the particulars of the construction. Let's see, the watchers. The season for watching the fields began early in August when green corn came. I guess it is for watching the corn as well as drying it. Let's see. Mike Mason's here. Sorry, Patrick. Type bond 3. The curing in color temp weakens the glue strength a bit. Oh, the curing in cooler temperature weakens the glue strength a bit. Adding a coat to part seems to have corrected it. I coat the white again and see if it all corrects. But what needs correction? I don't understand. The adding a coat to part seems to have corrected it. I coat the white again and see if it all corrects. I don't know what that means. Stave is about 3 weeks old. Yeah, I predict it's going to split at the heartwood if you're not careful. Red-Eyed Patriot, the 7E05 point had some very cool notches. Thanks. Nice selection of points this week. You've been busy. Yeah, but not as busy as I wanted to be. I wanted to have more complete points than this. Yeah. What did I do? I just had a bunch of errands to run. Yeah, that and trying to go to sleep early. I get into a habit of staying up late, reading stuff on the internet, and then that habit starts to develop, and I end up going to sleep way too late on most days, and then I wake up way too late on most days, and I'm trying to reverse that habit right now. My grandma passed away this morning. Oh boy, 84 years old. I hope to live as long as she. Yeah, my dad was 84 when he passed. Yeah. And I guess it was, let's see. He was 84 and a half, 6 months away from his birthday. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, for those of you who are new that are watching, my name is Patrick. The channel name is Jack Crafty. This is your chance to ask questions. It's also your chance to look at the auction and ask questions about that. Yeah, this is question and answer time. I'm not going to do any napping. Friday night, we can talk about anything. I have three live streams. One on Monday, this one, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern. I've got one on Wednesday, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. That's when I do napping and stuff. Live stream napping. And then Friday night, 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern. We can talk about anything. It doesn't have to be napping stuff. But yeah, if you have questions, it's much faster if I just answer on the live stream. And during this live stream, I'm going to check the auction from time to time. Let's see if anyone's bidding. And if they have trouble bidding, I can probably help them at least a little bit if they're having issues. Let's see. All righty, we've got R. Snyder bidding in the auction, but I don't see him on the live stream. Let's see who else is here. Jim Cooper. Hey. Okay, Jim Cooper. I think I was going to look at one of your emails. Right? Is that it? Yeah. More of my work. You sent me another email today. Okay, hold on. Where's the other one? I thought there was another one. Okay, let me. Yeah, you said the second one with more pics, but well, this one has a lot of pictures. This latest one you sent today. I hadn't seen that one yet. Let me do something here. Let me look for your other one that I was going to look at on Friday, but I didn't. So I didn't look at any of your other emails, but now I can't find the one you sent before. Okay. My email never shows me what I want to see. My burrito is too hot to eat. Midbar. Let's hear a passage from that book. Yeah, I was starting to read it, but everyone's eyes glazed over. There was no comments. Let's see. I'm looking for a particular email from Jim Cooper. Here. There's one I have not read yet. Okay. This one has a pipe or two pipes. It's got pipes. Right? No one can see. Let's see. Why doesn't it show up? Because it's stupid. It's got a handle on it or not a handle, but a stem that's twisted. Let's brighten up this. Hold this under the light. Maybe this will brighten up a little bit more so we can see. Or it doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's me doing it. That's why it's not working. Anyway, that's a cool pipe with a twisted stem. Two of them with twisted stems. Can you see it from far away? No, it doesn't work. It worked the other day. Yeah, why doesn't it work? I mean, you can't see it. And a little arrowhead. 2 little arrowheads. All righty. And those are tiny, tiny. They're smaller than a lighter is across in diameter. You know, a cigarette lighter. But you cannot see it because it's stupid. I can kind of see if I angle it away from the, you can see the dark. There's another arrowhead in there. It's a white arrowhead, but it's tiny. See that? All right. So those are cool. Yes, yes. All right. So that email is pretty cool. I don't know how you do those pipes. Are those stone stems or wooden stems? And did you make those or what? Because there's no explanation. There's just pictures. It says, here's my stuff. Some of it anyway, and a few pics. Yeah. Oh, I see. You sent me a link to something. All right, let's see. It wants to save a bunch of cookies. Anyway, is this a Facebook link? What is this? It wants me to sign up for something. I don't know. When I click the link, it wants me to sign up for something. Linktree, right? I don't want to sign up for Linktree. Okay, here we go. Oh, you have a Facebook page. All right. Awesome. Right? I think that's, I don't know if that's you or not. Pelouse Napper. How do you pronounce that? Pelouse? Pelouse Napper. Anyway, let's see. Let's get to the chat. If you go to the search bar in your email, type my email address, it should show only my mail. Yeah, but I'm not going to type in the email here on the computer. I had to do it on my phone. And it's quicker if I just search down and instead of typing in your name as a search, because sometimes it doesn't do the search on my phone. It'll pick up something else, like it'll show me I'm searching for apples or something. What? You know, because it's going to show me stupid stuff. I type in a name and it shows me something else. Anyway, that's my phone. Now, it probably will work on my computer. But I found your Facebook page. I would never have guessed your name is Pelouse Napper. I am following. Yeah. Right. Let's see. Hey, Ahab the fisherman. Patrick, got the shirt from you today. Awesome. KLR 650. Kiowa. If you pull down on the phone screen, there should be some options to lower brightness, and you should turn on the blue filter mode. Yeah, let's see. All right, I have to go. I'm using an Android phone, okay? So I've got to look down to see display. There's the brightness. I've got the adaptive brightness on dark mode. I can go to dark mode, but I don't see any blue filter. It just says motion smoothness, eye comfort shield. Is that the blue mode? Blue filter mode? I don't know. I don't see no blue filter mode. I guess eye comfort shield is the blue filter mode. Okay, so let's get that on and then go back to the emails and see if you can see it. It's a little bit better. Yeah. Still can't see the curly stem. All you can see is ridges. Ruffles of ridges. It's still not working right. I'm trying to get an angle. See, if I do that, you can see it, but you still cannot see the ridges. I mean, the spiral. Anyway, the technology drives me nuts. Technology drives me nuts these days. It used to be better. When they first started coming out with that stuff, you could actually navigate and do things. But nowadays, let's see. All right, KLR 650, you have to remind me of what chart you got for me. Just remind me, because I don't know. I send out so much stuff, I don't even know what I do. If you pull down, okay, I made all that stuff, and yes, it's all my sites, my Facebook and my Instagram. Okay, awesome. The stems are wood, the pipe stone is maple, and the other is sumac. The stems are wood, the pipe stone is maple. How is the pipe stone maple and the other is sumac? I didn't think you could do pipes made of sumac. It's pronounced palouse. Okay, palouse. Rhymes with caboose. Okay, hey, Robbie. Palouse is a region of Washington I live in. Rolling Hills farmland. I see. Jim Main, hello. The other email is just pictures, so no links to mess with. Yes, the iComfort mode is the blue filter, I suppose. Hello, Patrick. Hello, everybody. Hey, Mike Tufts. Let's see. The other head is of Washington soapstone. Okay. Jay Valente. Hey. Interesting. I did not get notified you were live. Yeah. Stupid YouTube. Ed Neeland from Canada. Oh, okay. I gotcha. So you got the chart. All right. You got a box of chart. A little box. Right? I don't think I sent a big box. I don't even remember. I have to look and see what I sent you. How long did it take, Ed? Did it take 2 weeks? Ed Gould. Oh, the pipe with the pipe stone head. The pipe with the pipe stone head is what? Is sumac or the other one? Which one is it? They both look like pipe stone heads to me. So I don't know. You have to write a detailed description. Picture 1, write a detailed description in the comment section. Picture 2, write a detailed description. That's the only way I'll get it. I need exact dimensions and I need exact descriptions, and you have to make sure I got the order right on the phone. I mean, on the pictures. Do everything you don't feel like doing in order for it to be clear. Because, if not, I can't follow. And I don't like this dark mode on my phone. But I guess it helps with I'm not going to show too much on the camera. Let's turn it back to the lighter. Where is it? Let's turn it back to the other setting. See, I don't like dark mode on my phone. It drives me insane. Why? I have no idea. Okay. I don't need the iComfort shield and I don't need the dark mode. It's because, I guess getting old, you need lots of light to see actually what's there. If I don't have enough light, even in dark mode, and it makes it hard for me to look at the chat also, because that's in dark mode. And for some reason, I can't switch out of dark mode here on the live stream. Let's see. You interested in Indian battle stories? Not really. I would if they were actual good accounts, but they're so exaggerated sometimes that I don't even know if what I'm reading is fiction or an eyewitness account. Yeah, because this one story I read about a battle with some Indians, and one of the Indians got shot, and they went to go look for him, and he had died in a field of grass. And he had on him like 4 rifles and like 2 pistols and a bow and all kinds of weapons on him. How do you carry all that and still hide in the grass? So it was just, I don't know. I do like battle stories, but I want them to be real. Okay, hippie Mike. Let's see. Okay, maple stem and soapstone pipe head has a sumac stem. Okay. The thing has a a maple stem, and then a soapstone pipe bowl, and then a sumac stem also. So you have to tell me photograph 1 is such and such and photograph 2 is such and such, because now to me that little comment means the pipe has 2 stems and the bowl is a soapstone. Yeah, so I still don't get it. Alan Young, good evening all. Let's see. I did not get a notification either for live or the auction. That's terrible. Just got here. Hey, Keith, did I miss the sweat stage yet? Yeah, you missed it. We did a lot of stuff before you got here. Yeah. 26 minutes. You're after 5 minutes, we've done a lot of stuff already. Let's see. Yes, about 2 weeks. I got small boxes very well wrapped. Okay, good. Yeah, it takes about 2 weeks to get to you guys up in the Great White North in Canada. How long do you heat coral and at what temperature? It depends, but most coral, you need to heat it above 500 degrees. It's one of the hardest things to heat because you got to experiment with it. It's the hardest one to know what temperature to heat it to. Exploration rocks, you need to tell me how many times you failed and how many times you've attempted coral, what color it is, what color it came out to be once you heated it, what temperatures. Give me some background, and then I can kind of figure out what type of coral you're working with. Otherwise, I can't recommend any heat. You just kind of have to experiment. Let's see. The red stone is catlinite or pipestone. The other model color head is soapstone. I see. Okay. We're getting closer. Photo 2 is soapstone head with a sumac stem. Okay, good. So sumac stem, are you splitting that wood from a large sumac, or is it a thinner sumac? What type of sumac is it? Because whenever I try sumac, it's always very weak whenever I try getting some. But I think it's just a sumac that I'm trying to gather is not the right type. I'm reading To the American Indian, Reminiscences of a Native Yurok Woman, written in 1910, and it has really good, unexaggerated accounts by an elder. Okay, good. All right, let's see. I wonder if I could take a screenshot. I can screenshot that with my phone so I can get the title of the book. Let me screenshot the comment. That would make it much easier than to try to look for this later. Yeah. See, right now, in case you didn't know, I'm reading this book. Someone recommended it one of the other live streams. Buffalo Bird Woman's Garden. Gilbert L. Wilson. I got it on Amazon. It was not, no. Scratch that. Where did I get it from? It's not on Amazon. I threw away the packaging. It was not from Amazon, I believe, because it was not very expensive at all. I don't know. I can't remember where I got it. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, Brennan. This would be the Scouts version from 1885 or so. Okay. 1885, Scouts version. Are you talking about Boy Scouts or Scouts in the Army? Or in the cavalry? I don't know. I don't even know if Boy Scouts are that old. I don't think so. Maybe not. Let's see. Because I can't remember what's the original comment. I'm lost already. Let's see. What would help me to answer questions is if you would include the first part in your second response. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ask me, or if you tell me something, blah, 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 and then later on you try to continue it, but don't refer back to the other one, just put them both together again. Like put the blah, blah, blah first and then your second thing in the same one. That way I don't have to go back to look at what is that he was talking about. Like with the Scouts version from 1885 or so, I had to look back at Hippie Mike's other comment. What is that referring to? And that's an Indian battle story, but I might have missed something in between. Let's see. I missed something in between. Yes or no? No. So that's why I have trouble with the answering of the questions or trying to write down notes from what you guys are telling me. Yeah. Because I would like to read stuff from the Scouts version from 1885, but you didn't include the name of the book or whatever it was. Okay. Romano's Last Stand. Okay, let's see. Now, Romanos, is that Roman nose, 2 words? Or did you write that correctly as 1 word? Romano's Last Stand. It's a... Okay, let me write that down. Yes. Okay, thanks. Okay, photo 1 is read. Okay, I got that one. Photo 2 is, yep, I got that one. And I got that one. Maybe Doge laid off the notification staff here. Yeah, maybe. YouTube does his own weird thing. Though I'm more interested to know what you think of my napping. Your napping's pretty good, but you got to send me close-ups. It looks pretty good. I mean, you've got the napping down, the pressure flaking, because the stems on those 2 points that are smaller than the lighter diameter are very well napped. But send me close-up so I can see the flaking, and then send me side view so I can see the thickness. Yeah, if you want, you guys can send me photos to look at your napping and how you're doing, but send me the side views and send me close-ups of side A and side B. Okay? It makes it much easier for me to look and make some sort of comment on your napping. And then include a scale or an object like a lighter or something within the photo so I know how big it is. Because if you're napping little bitty things and I don't see that it's little bitty, I might get the wrong impression that maybe you don't know how to run some flakes, or maybe those flakes are super good, but I'm thinking it's a really big point. So send me something to where I can tell how big it is. Yeah. Maybe okay. Are you planning on going to Flint Ridge this year? Wilders 53. Flint Ridge. I'm not planning on anything this year except for the Brady Nap-In. As of today, I know for sure I'm going to either the spring Nap-In in Brady, Texas, or the fall Nap-In in Brady, Texas, or both. I usually try to get to the Brady Nap-In in Texas. Every other Nap-In is uncertain. I don't know if I'll be able to go. So my question, other than the Brady Nap-In, is I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to that one. I don't know if I'm going to this one. I don't know if I'm going to that one. I can go to anything I want now if I'm willing to give up hundreds of dollars. Then I can go anywhere I want. Yeah. It costs me hundreds of dollars to drive, and it costs me hundreds of dollars to not put as many objects in the auction. So yeah, if I want to spend hundreds of dollars, I can go anywhere I want. Let's see. Hello, Patrick. Volunteered all morning at the food bank. Oh, Portia, you've been at the food bank? Let's see. Let's see. Are you planning on... Okay. Exploration rocks. My first attempt. I'm a newbie. Haven't heated any yet. It's a beautiful orange and blue. I did a video of spalling it. Okay, so if you spalled it and it's coral, I'm assuming you're talking about the coral. And it naps well. Don't heat it. If you do heat it, it's probably going to take 500 degrees or more to get better. But you never know. It could get really good at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Hello, Patrick. Okay. Hippie Mike, Army. Okay, Army Scouts. Let's see. Army Scouts. No, these scouts, these Army Scouts, are they Native American Army Scouts or federal troops Army Scouts? My first attempt. I'm a newbie. I'm just curious. Let's see. No staghorn sumac was used because it has a soft, spongy inner pith. Yeah, that's easy to remove. No, staghorn sumac was used because it has a soft. So you did use staghorn sumac. Okay. Because it also looks like it says no staghorn sumac was used. But it should be no, comma. Staghorn sumac was used because it has a soft, spongy inner pith that's easy to remove either with a drill, hardwood, stone, modern, doesn't matter, or by burning with a small coal or hot wire. Yeah. I've tried the little burning with a hot coal. Doesn't work. Yeah, for maybe a 16th of an inch. Yes, but that's it. It goes out. Wilder 53, I'm planning on going. Will be my first time there. Oh, okay. Let's see. Hippie Mike, Beecher Island Battlegrounds, close to where I live. I think that's what that's supposed to say. Beecher Island Battlegrounds. Yeah, I'll look up that book for sure. Hippie Mike, I'll look up that book. I'll be at Flint Ridge too. Mike Tuff's going to Flint Ridge. Dang. Ed Gould, where is Flint Ridge? Yeah. I could look that up real quick. Live Romano's Last Stand. Live Romano's Last Stand. Or is it Live Romano's? Or is it Live or Live? Let's see. Awesome photo, Joe. You're going to love it. No, Flint Ridge is not in Texas. No. I think it's Ohio. Yeah. There we go. I think I saw the address, but it zipped right by me. It zipped by me and went down like 50 comments. Okay, here we go. Coshocton County, Ohio, I believe, is where Flint Ridge is. I know that's where they have the nap in. Yeah, I think so, but I don't know. I traveled from Bristol, Tennessee to Ohio. Jim Cooper, I heard that a small hole was started in the pith and then bear grease was poured into the pith. The bottom plugged, placed maggots in the hole, and let the maggots remove the pith. I've never seen maggots like to consume fat. To me, they go straight after meat and they leave the fat alone. Of course, they'll eat the fat eventually. One day I want to go to Flint Ridge. Would be amazing. Yeah, I do want to go to that too. The second email is better, and I'm bad at pictures. I'll try to get some help with them. That's okay. You can the more pictures you take, the better I understand what's going on, like from different views and stuff. Brutus, it's time for a nap. Howdy, y'all. Sorry to hear about your father passing, man. Yeah, that was pretty recent, if you're talking to me. One thing I've learned about dating women is how they hold the camera at a certain angle to take a selfie. It makes anything look thin. Try this when you take pictures of your points, fellas. Yeah, that's funny. Brutus. saying hi to everybody. Let's see. Jim Cooper says, Mike, that's a new one on me, but I'm inclined to believe that is a myth because there's no way to control the progress, and the pith is really easy to remove, so there's no reason to wait for the maggots. Yeah. It was 65 here in NNCOL today and tomorrow. I think that's North Colorado. Nice weather. Today I got up to 33 degrees. Notice in the video, the Grand Canyon spit out lots of driftwood, but got too busy today to go picking. 72 degrees in northwest Arizona today, maybe tomorrow too. Wow. It's nice weather for February. Yeah. The trick is to have a small reed and blow air onto the coal to keep it burning. Yeah. No, I've tried burning with coals before, and if you notice people that do videos where they drop a coal on a piece of wood or whatever and they blow on it to hollow something out, they never show the whole process. So that means it took them 2 or 3 hours. And you can peck at it with a piece of flint and do it in 30 minutes or in a time that would be short enough to show the complete process on video. The burning with the coals has never worked with me. And even when I build a big fire, like I wanted one time to make a bowl from wood. So I built a fire on the wood, and it wasn't all that big. And it'll burn the first layer down to about ½ inch. Scrape that out. Got to build another fire. And every time you burn a ½ inch, it's 30 minutes or thereabouts, maybe 20 minutes. So if you got 8 inches, you want a deep bowl. Let's see, 30 minutes times 8, that's 4 hours of sitting there burning when you can probably dish it out with a big rock in less than 45 minutes. Let's see, I don't even know where to start about the maggot and the wood thing. Yeah. Let's see, where I live, yes. I bet it would need some sort of wood boring beetle larva rather than a maggot, but I don't know. Yeah, no, all these stories about, if it seems kind of weird to use whatever they're talking about, these old stories, it's probably not true. Yeah. And if you see a YouTube video with a technique, but they cut right to the end of the technique and show the result, it's probably because it took them hours and hours and hours to get it to work, and then finally they were able to shoot the final result later. They don't want to show you the process because it was either a big pain in the butt, or they got like 5 different people to try different methods, or all the above. Yeah. And it didn't work. Sometimes they just use a modern thing to get it done within a short period of time so they can actually make the video. So they didn't actually do the burning the whole time. But you don't get to see any of that because it's video. They can hide whatever they want. Let's see. At least I got size comparison and side views on the second email. I'm curious to see what you think of my big blades. I know they're not your favorite, but I love them. Jim Cooper. Okay, let me look. Let me look at the second email you sent me, or the one you sent me today. Let's see if I can figure it out with my spastic brain. Someone sent me pictures of, let's see, a bow. Okay, here we go. Let's look at this. The big blades. You do have a tape measure next to that one. One of them is, the first one is a black obsidian blade. That's pretty good. Yeah. For the size, it looks like it was, I can't see the tape measure. All I can see is, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like about 6 inches. No, 6-inch obsidian blade. It looks like a modern axe head because it's got a big edge on one end. Okay, this looks like a dance blade that is at least 14 inches long. Yeah, you've got, Jim Cooper, you've got access to quite large pieces of material. Yeah, and that's pretty good. I don't know why you're watching my channel. You already know how to nap. Why are you watching my channel? You already know how to do these huge blades. And you got a clear knife blade. Let's see if it shows up. No. Technology is not our friend tonight. That's clear glass, and the handle is also glass. It's all one piece, and you just wrap the handle. Right? Yeah, technology is not our friend today. Anyway, that one is huge. That's in excess of 14 inches as well. I don't work on those because they just drive me nuts. There's so much flaking. I've done 4 hours of flaking and I only got one side done. That's what it feels like. Let's see. This one's that one's more than a foot long blue glass. Yeah. Yeah, those are great. And you do get thinness. I don't know if you start with something thin. Yeah, they're fine. And they've got a little bitty arrowhead on a dime. That you can see. That's a dime, even though you can't see the design on the dime. You can see the little arrowhead on the dime. Yeah, that's very, very tiny. So yeah. Pretty good. Awesome. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I've at least got size comparison and side views on the second email. Yeah, you do have it on that one. What's up, everybody? Blades and points. Sal's here. Let's see. Jim Cooper. That may work for things like bowls or other larger concavities, but the difference is the pith burns much quicker than the surrounding wood, and you can use a small coal, so you can use a larger. So you can't use a large tool. Let's see what that says. The difference is the pith burns much quicker than the surrounding wood, and you can use a small coal, so you can't use a large tool. To get a really small diameter tube. You can't use a large tool to get a really small diameter tube. Yeah, you can't get a really small diameter tube with a large tool, but you can use a small tool. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for sharing, Jim. Probably easier. If the maggot method was ever used, I imagine it's because it works when you don't have time. Maybe. Pat, ever find native artifacts? Oh, yes. I have found some. I have videos on Native American artifacts. They're not mine, most of those videos. Just type in Jack Crafty artifacts. I got bunches of videos on those. But me personally, I think I found about 6 artifacts myself, just sitting on top of the ground. I went around maybe 8 artifacts, little pieces of arrowheads. I have one complete arrowhead that I found myself, and I think it's an Ellis. It's either an Ellis or Edgewood. I get mixed up between those two. Let's see. And it's in perfect condition. It's resharpened too. And I didn't think these Ellis or Edgewood points were resharpened type points. Come on. I got to go through the whole alphabet for me to find what I want. I think it's well, Okay, that's an Edgewood. That's an Ellis. That's probably an Edgewood. One of these things. I found a perfect example of one of these. It's nicer than these. Okay, but it's the exact same shape and everything. But the flaking on it is really good, and it's been resharpened. And what I mean by really good is there's no step fractures on the whole thing. Very careful not to produce any step fractures. I mean, it's kind of thick, but there's no step fractures. Let's see. Chiff Roman nose pinned down 60 some odd Army scouts for a couple of days. Lots of bullets to find, but most of the points have been gone for a long time now. I see. I forgot. Okay, Jim Cooper says, I forgot to mention also that you got to occasionally scrape off char so it will keep burning fresh material. Yeah, which means you need to replace the coal as well. It's rare for me to get them. Pieces that big, I mean. Okay, I see. Patrick, I sent an email of the stave. I quotations it because the staves are not yet split. Let's see. Okay, I see what you got. Yeah, it looks okay. The stave looks fine. It looks like you've got plenty of sealer on there. Yeah, I've made bows from stuff that looks like that, but you just have to be careful about those indentations. That's where it tends to split. Even after it's been drying for a couple of years, you might still get splits in those. And I try to go in between those divots and dips and stuff when I cut my bow out. But I think you said you split along those crevices or whatever you want to call them. Patrick, a question for you and everyone. What was the tool or technique that helped you the best in Flintknapping? The tool or technique that helped you the best? Well, for me, when I developed my behind the knee technique, that helped me the best. But other than that, it's probably not a tool, but the heat treating helped me also. So the style that I developed, the behind the knee stuff, I invented that, the behind the knee. That helped me the most, if you're talking to me, asking me. And then the next thing that helped me profoundly was heat treating. And it took many, many years for me to find something else that was game changing. And that is the pressure flaking. Developing a skill in pressure flaking. That's the third thing now that I'm developing. But the pressure flaking has taken me a lot longer to get good at or to discover or to receive the benefit from than anything else I've ever tried. The pressure flaking actually drives me nuts, but the results are really good. Jordan says, hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Yes, yes. What is that? What is that an arrowhead for? Ants? The question on these small arrowheads is very common. What's that for? And one of the most common answers, it's not what I would say, but one of the most common answers is that you put that little arrowhead in a charm bag or a medicine bag, along with other charms, and wear it around your neck. But I've seen people say those are dart points for, blowgun darts, or what I would say is they're just small arrowheads for arrows that are small, or just small arrowheads, because they're trying to conserve on material as an example. There might be other reasons why they make such small arrowheads. But there are other explanations too. It could be jewelry. They could be wearing headdresses with miniature arrows stuck in the headdress somewhere, because they used to put, they put feathers in their hair, but they also put other ornamentation that was like stick-like ornamentation through their hair as headdresses. So they could have, and I have seen this actually in a drawing, I think, of a Native American Indian who had an arrow in his hair, a little miniature one. So there are many different explanations for those little arrowheads. Of course, we don't know exactly what the ones that we find were for. We're just guessing. Let's see. The glass is from tiles about an inch thick, so they're mostly percussion. Oh, I see. The glass from tiles. All right. Jim Cooper, let us know where you get the glass tiles that don't cost like $50 per tile, because I can't find any. Mike Tuff's steel rod behind the leg worked for me too. I see. Now that everyone's here, why did you call this meeting here today? It's a mystery. I didn't call a meeting. Let's see. Cool, Jordan. All right. Okay, Outcast Metal Detecting's here. What up, Crafty? I'm going to be off Friday, so I will get you that box of Talahata. All right, sweet. I want to see it. The other Talahata that I had a while ago was kind of nasty. I think there was 250 Indians Pawnee mostly, I think. Okay. Patrick, what did you do in the military? I was in the Army National Guard, Texas Army National Guard. And at first, when I first joined up, I joined up as a light-wheeled vehicle mechanic. That's what I was trained at. Went to Fort Leonard Wood. Did my basic at AIT, same place. That was fun. And then I got immediately assigned to a motor pool with a bunch of mechanized infantry. And I had some welding experience, so they put me immediately into patching up mufflers and holes in fenders. And this was back in the 80s. I joined in 85. Yeah, late 80s, they had me doing some motor pool stuff. And then we moved, the whole family moved. I wasn't married yet. I got married in 89. So at first I was just Army National Guard, right? And then we moved. I got stationed with another mechanized infantry unit, and then let's see what happened after that. Oh, I got recommended for OCS, and I said, I don't know. It's a whole year of training at the National Guard Academy in Texas. Okay, all right, we'll do it. Okay, so I went for officer training. After 3 years, I went into officer training. And then I was 3 years enlisted. And then I went for training in Fort Beauregard. That was one of the places we went to in Louisiana. I think we went there twice. And then we went to some other places just outside of Bastrop, Texas. Anyway, when I graduated officer candidate school, I got stationed with a combat engineer unit, because I specialized in combat engineer when I was going through officer training. Yeah, they asked me, "Where do you want to specialize in?" So we can send you to that training. Okay. Well, I was talking to my CO back at my new unit. He says, "Do combat engineer, because they have an opening there." All right, so I'll do combat engineer. So that's what I did. So I spent like I spent 10 years in the Army National Guard, more than half of that as an officer. I got to first lieutenant, and then I had to resign my commission because I hadn't finished college. During my training as an officer, they changed the requirements requiring a college bachelor's degree. So they gave me 2 years to finish, and I had like 3 years to go. So I said, okay, I think I can do it. But no, couldn't do it. So I had to resign my commission. That was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. Couldn't do it. But yeah, I spent time in the Army National Guard, and I'm glad I did. Neat story here from the people in and above the Grand Canyon. All the tribes had to get together to fight cannibals. Trapped the last of them in a cave and set a big fire. Oh, dang. Yeah, but who are the cannibals? What did you think of this striped opal point? I'd pay dearly to get my hands on more of that. I don't know where to get striped opal. And I didn't know that's what that was. These were just my obsidian and glass ones. Once I pull them out, I'll send some pics of the other materials. Okay. Ed Gould says indirect percussion was a game changer for him. Pressure flaker is my go-to tool. Yeah. My go-to is the indirect percussion rod. I'm doing more of the pressure flaking, but I'll be happy when I don't have to do as much of it. Indirect helped me the most. Yep. I'm glad to see. Hippie Mike says indirect as well. Knapping a lot helped Sal. Yeah. But Sal, you've progressed quite quickly. So you must have been napping a lot. Mike Tuff's YouTube basically taught me how to nap. Mm-hmm. Ellen Young. Besides that, Patrick, what do you mean? Let's see. Yep. Indirect, big help here too. Made lots of driveway gravel before that. Yeah. Proper abrading for me, no doubt. 75% less edge collapses, I would guess. Jesse says proper abrading. Barring YouTube, though, my 3/4 inch copper cap bopper is what I use the most. I see. 3/4 inch copper cap. Let's see. Let me figure out where I'm at here in the chat. Oh, I'm way far. I'm way behind. Midbar, the cannibals were red-haired giants, weren't they? Supposedly the cave was found with suit and giant sandals. Yeah, Mike, large red-haired people from the east. What do you think of the moon-eyed people who spoke perfect Welsh? I don't know. Silly stories. I haven't gotten into indirect yet. I've tried it, but for me, it would be the Ishi stick being able to drive long flakes. Mike Tufts, you haven't done indirect yet? Some of the new people I see, they use the indirect under the leg, and they are very successful. Yeah. Old Fort Lost in the Woods, yes. Somebody knows about Fort Leonard Wood for sure. I was there twice. Yeah. Let's see, my second. It's all kind of foggy now. I can't remember exactly when I was at Fort Leonard Wood, but for sure my basic in AIT. I went there again for more training, but I don't know what it was for. But yeah, same old Fort Leonard Wood. And I had to drive myself up there and drive myself back. Let's see. Where can you get reasonably priced obsidian? Well, let me know what you think reasonable is, because it's probably not going to be reasonable anywhere. But if you want, you can contact Danny Collins or get on his website. I'm pretty sure he has obsidian. But I've got a list of rock sellers now in every video that I'm posting in the comment section. Okay, go into like one of my latest videos and look through the comment section. Not my latest, because those 3 short videos, I don't think they have a rock seller list. Go back to some of the other ones and look through the comment section. It should say in one of the comments, sellers of rock, yada, yada, yada. Just look down the list and some of them say obsidian on those. Contact those guys. Everyone that I've got in there is reasonable. And if you can't find what I'm talking about or have no idea what I'm talking about, just remind me again in this comment section and say, please send me that list or post a list of sellers that you talked about. That way I can post it for you. Afternoon, or I can email it to you, Exploration Rocks. Send me an email to jackcrafty2@gmail.com and say, where's that list of rock sellers? And I'll send it to you through email if nothing else works. Let's see. Cannon, afternoon. Hope all is well. Yes, we've been through our first hour. We got almost an hour more to go. What did the snowman say to the other snowman? It smells like carrots here. Yeah. Presumably because they have carrots for noses. Indirect under the knee was a game changer for me as well. Yes. Good luck. I was gifted them by a glassworker friend of mine, so I can't even get them anymore. It took me forever to even find the thick tiles online. Also forgot to say the obsidian is from rough rock. Yeah. Yeah, I've looked for glass tiles, and you can find them in big pieces. They're for fancy architectural work, mainly within hotel lobbies and stuff like that. And they're like $50 for one tile, and maybe 12 inches by 9 inches by 4 inches thick, something like that. It's just ridiculously priced, and then shipping on top of that. So in order to make any kind of money, you got to do these high-end jobs and get a lot of it shipped to you. Let's see. The Canyon, tall pine, and red pine people are very spiritual. The Navajo to the northeast are kind of weird, in my opinion. Mike Mason, I thought you were going to say it tastes like carrots. Let's see. He called this meeting to commune with Moloch, right? Tonight is Bohemian Grove night, right? No. Yeah, I wish it was something outdoorsy like that. It's too cold to be outdoors right now. Mike Mason, I thought you were going to... Okay. Where am I? Thank you for your service, Patrick. Oh, you're welcome. I was born when you began your service. Oh, dang. Mike Mason. Yeah. My unit got called up to go to Iraq, the first, Desert Storm thing. And I was still within... I was the platoon leader, but I was still under that training umbrella where I hadn't finished the training yet. So my unit got shipped out to do their training, and then I got sent to headquarters to do whatever they wanted me to do up there, paper shuffling or whatever. And my unit got trained up after 3 months, and they were going to ship out to Iraq, but it was already over. So they shipped them back home. All that training, 3 months in the desert. I think they went to Arizona or something. And it was over. That's it. Go home, guys. They never get to see anything, and I never saw any combat either. No, we almost had the chance in that first Desert Storm thing, but no. And we almost got called up for a disaster, but that another unit took care of that. We were on standby. I remember that. For a natural disaster, I think it was a flood, but somebody else took care of it. They put a lot of units on standby whenever they have a natural disaster. So we don't always get called in to help with that. All right. And there's a lot of full timers in the National Guard, so they usually go. And if they don't have enough, then they'll call us in. Yeah, I had the experience with the full timers in the National Guard was not good. Yeah. They have their own agenda. Let's see. Fort Polk, perhaps? I don't know. Fort Lost in the Woods for my basic, then Texas Bliss, and off to Hawaii Defense Artillery, Vulcan Gunner. Oh, dang. Navy Aviation Electronics Engineering fried me. I had no thoughts of my own anymore. That's funny. Navy Aviation Electronics Engineering. Yeesh. 71 through 74. Ed Gould, 3 years as a Vulcan gunner. Wow. Was that back in the Army of 1 days of the Army? Yes. Yeah. Aluminum rod myself. Hippie Mike. Okay. The aluminum rod help you the most? Let's see. No, it can't be. If it was, then when you left, we wouldn't have had an army. My attempt to join the Marine Corps was ended with foot injuries I obtained before I began school. Didn't even know who the doctor was to get the release statement required by Obama's new rules. Hippie Mike, aluminum is my favorite for obsidian. I got my strapped it on top of my leg. Okay. My uncle and my cousin both went through basic at Leonard Wood. Oh, dang. Yeah, it's a good spot. I mean, apparently it's right in this middle of the country. So I think that's why a lot of people get sent there. Let's see. Don't have to hold it on, really. I'm sure once I buy a copper rod, I'll use it more than the steel rod. But all tools I use have been found free other than the one bopper I made. I see. Yeah, free tools are good. Yeah, it's too cold. Let's do a Bilderberg Tea Party instead. Monday night stream. Woo! Yes, Smallzilla's here. Hey, about time I got to your comment, right? How long did it take me? Like 3 minutes just to get down to this point. Monday night stream. Yay, I have some spalls of dacite that I'm having trouble with. They flake perfectly on one side and scoop terrible on the other. You have any tips? Well, if it's very consistently scooping, use something softer on the other side. Like if you're using metal, like a copper bopper on one side, and it's working well, you switch it over or turn it over and you're getting big scoop outs with the copper bopper on the other side. Try some antler or try something else. Just try different things. It could be that it's just getting lighter. You know, you could remove nice flakes when it's nice and heavy. You turn it over and it's a lot lighter, and then you start scooping out flakes because the workpiece is lighter. You need to brace it against something, maybe. There are many ways to adjust your technique to see if it actually helps. The only tips I can give you is just try all kinds of stuff. Try whatever you think might work. Try all kinds of stuff. That's my tips. My grandfather fought in the in the Aleutian Islands, 43 through 44, then Rhineland in Central Europe, January 45 till the end. His 355th Infantry Regiment, 89th Infantry Division, liberated Ordroof concentration camp. Oh, wow. Interesting. Maybe it's the angle, Adam. Yeah. Remember the angle, so I won't scoop it, is 52.6. So, Adam McMullen, I'm not the only one then. Yeah. My parents ran a family care home for disabled veterans for 35 years. I was basically raised by World War II, Korea, and Vietnam vets. Oh, dang. No PTSD there? Or yes, was there PTSD involved? Let's see. Yeah, someone got asked for Corn's joke except me. I don't know. I got your package all finished up tonight. We'll be mailing it tomorrow. I'll send it to you. I'll send you an email with the tracking number. Hopefully it's entertaining. Okay, awesome. Yeah, thanks. Got close enough once to see combat from the air, and we were lined up, got airplanes several times to rush in and help, but no combat. I was stationed at Camp Zama, Japan. Oh, dang. Ken Winton. Okay, Adam McMullen. I've tried all different angles, very grainy material, but beautiful. Yeah, you can try all different angles, but there's only a little range that will work for you. And your range of working is different from my range of working. So keep that in mind. It might be the same, but usually people's sweet spots are slightly different from each other in how nice flakes are removed. Adam McMullen. Okay. What's the secret to petrified wood? Don't nap it. That's the secret. Just lost my buddy Don, age 100. He was in the Battle of the Bulge. Patton was his general, but he never seen him. Yeah. Yeah. Napping petrified wood, that is. Yeah, don't nap the petrified wood. That's the secret. Here's a question for you, Patrick. Do you have any specific memories of any particular points in general that you've accidentally dropped and broken? I had a casualty this weekend. Any specific memories of any particular point that I dropped? What? You mean throughout my 15 years or last week? I have lots of specific instances where I drop and I break tips off. Some of these have little bitty tips or thin or narrow. See that on the very tip? If I drop that and it lands tip first on the floor, it'll break it off. Those bug me more than anything else. I can break something in half by dropping it or break off a barb or whatever. It doesn't affect me as much as if I break off a little bit off the tip. For some reason, that really bugs me if I break a tip off. And yeah, I've had a lot of those, and I even have those just doing this in these trays that I keep. You know, if I bang these arrowheads against each other in the trays and they chip, drives me nuts. And that happens. Luckily, it doesn't happen on the tips because I make sure that those tips are widely separated. That's a good question. With the DAS side, are the scoops on the flat side or the dorsal side of the spall? Yeah, that's a good question. Got to answer that one so we all know what to do. That's all I got. Drag. My favorite point that you have napped is all of them. Wilder 53. Sweet. I'm glad to hear it. I find lots of petrified wood down by Lake Mead, but nappable pieces smaller than 2 inches. Yeah. If you can nap something out of one of those pieces, then that's the way to go. Yeah, just you might have to nap things that are 3/4 of an inch or smaller, long. They made arrowheads back in the day 3/4 of an inch long. Wilders, I really liked the Christmas tree point from Moss Agate. I asked him to make a couple Christmases ago. Only wish I could have bought it. Yeah. I can't get that Moss Agate very often. Why do you chuck the big flakes? Why do you chuck the big flakes down all the time, because the only thing that breaks on those is the delicate areas I got to break off anyway. I don't chuck them down very hard. They don't have to travel very far because I sit really low. If you notice, I scoop up my tools from the floor when I'm working and put them down on the floor. If I'm sitting up in a chair, I can't do that. But if I'm sitting low on that little bin that I sit on, if I drop something or throw a flake down that's big, it doesn't break unless it breaks off the little delicate area. But like I said, I got to break off the delicate areas anyway. Also, I found something out through the experimenting with my indirect. You can help control the length of the flakes by slightly controlling where you pinch in line with the flake travel. Prevents snaps too. Yeah. I've tried these things where you support the flake in some ways, but I've never been able to figure out if I'm just being more careful or if there's just more weight behind the workpiece or something other than what I think might be working is actually working. If I add another variable in, like support, I can't figure out what's going on. And let's say that I'm thinking that it's the pressure and the support underneath the flake, underneath the workpiece to capture the flake and to maybe help it to travel. Let's say I'm having some success and I'm thinking that's it. But in reality, what if it's not it? And they start to get into these areas where you get into a pattern of thinking. And if it's not correct, you're going to lose all that time you spent trying to learn that technique for nothing. Okay. You have to know that what you're doing is actually working. If you don't know if it's actually working, you could be wasting all that time. And how do I know? I don't know. Let's see. Patrick, ever finish a point and then go back and look at it later and wonder what you were smoking to think that was symmetrical? No, but I've looked at my other points. Actually, I have the opposite reaction. I look at my old points and I'm going, I remember when I was that innocent. I wish I could go back to that. On the dorsal side of when I'm trying to flatten it out. I've got some raw moss agate if you want it, Patrick. I'd be willing to trade. Jim Cooper. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's trade. I don't have any opal though. Yeah. All I got is what you've seen on video. Basically just stuff I bought on video. Stuff I've shown on video that I've bought recently. I've got a lot of Texas heat treats and that, but they're small flakes. I don't know if since Jim, you're into big pieces. I don't have any big pieces. None. Nothing over 6 inches. So I might have to just buy it from you. I've got some raw. Let's see. Gotta go weld the rest of the night. Happy napping. Okay, Wilder. Go weld. Dang, that does not sound like too much fun. Also, I've got a few points I've made out of petrified wood. I've found some extremely nice pieces that flake wonderfully raw. I should send pictures sometime. I believe I've made 2 so far. Yeah. The point for today's thumbnail is sweet. Yeah, I like it too. I'm going to make more of these. It's a bitter root. Yeah, the bitter root points. And I kind of exaggerated it to see if I could do it. And I did it. That's why I called it an art point, I think, in the auction. Let's see. All right, let me go back here. Let's see. Thanks for all your napping videos, Jack. You're welcome. I'm a new napper, and your videos have helped me more than anything. Cheers. I'm glad. Charcoal fish. You're very welcome. Isn't that moss agate pretty tough and grainy? Yeah, moss agate usually is pretty tough. That point is dacite. For me, the scoops come randomly. As for the stone I'm working, some spalls are great. When it scoops or more so stops short rather than strangely, they tend to continue on that side. Yeah. Sometimes when you're working with stone, it does have a, a grain to it where it doesn't nap well in certain directions. Yeah. And it could be just tougher on one side than the other. Obsidian does have differences in consistency. It could be tougher on that one side or weaker that cause the scoops. Just letting you know his name is Patrick. Okay. Let's see. Adam, it could be because you don't have enough convexity for the flake to travel properly. Depending on the spall, you may have to do several sets of shorter flakes in order to get the convexity. Let's see. Wasn't tracking. Petrified wood can be lots of different materials from opals to sand. Oh, yes. That specific type of opal is what I meant. I've got tons of opal. It's fairly easy to find. It was the colors that were rare. Okay. And I'm open to smaller pieces or what are exotic materials for me. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can do a trade. Mike Mason, in a previous channel news, you mentioned splitting wood with a large blade like stone. You ever going to show us? Yeah. I mentioned in a channel news video, splitting wood with a large blade like stone. Yeah, I've used stone wedges. Just try using a stone wedge. I'll do that later, when it gets warmer. I am going to set up an area back there to use a bunch of different stone tools. Stone wedges work okay as long as the wood splits easy. Okay. If it's not splitting easy, you've got to be very careful about the stone you use for splitting the wood. Now, I'm using hickory when I do my woodworking with stone tools, so you'll know what I'm talking about. If you use a weak piece of stone, it will break when you're doing woodworking, especially on tough woods like hickory. But in my opinion, the only woods worth working are the tough woods, especially for bows. In a previous channel news, okay. It gets technical. Silicon dioxide stacking horizontal or vertical makes a huge difference. I'm not sure what that means exactly. You're my number one napper. Keep on keeping on. Hey, thanks, Richard. Yeah, I'm going to keep on doing it for sure. Also, the pinching of the platform works, I think, because it adds support and mass to the platform, so you get less bites out of the edge and cleaner flake initiations when I basically eliminated edge. Edge bites when I started doing that. You basically eliminated edge bites when you started doing that? I eliminate edge bites when I don't hit too hard. I get edge bites the same whether I've got my fingers close to the edge or not, because it depends on how hard I'm hitting. Okay. My fingers are not going to stop those hard hits at all. In fact, my fingers are going to feel a bad effect. Let's see. I'm still waiting on that Cumberland challenge. Yeah, you're going to wait for a while because I need to get my jig set up. When you do small arrowheads off of flakes, would you suggest a soft hand pad for the pressure flaking? No. I have been using a hard pad and have been making a lot of bridges and getting some snappage. Try putting a slot in the hard pad. I never recommend soft pads, but that's me. Soft pads will work, but I just never recommend them. I've always recommended hard domed pads with no slots. But if you think that the pad is interfering with the flake travel, put a slot in it or make one with a slot in it. I have to be careful when I pinch so I do not bridge. Yeah. Collected some nice basalt for Abo axe heads, but it won't be napped. Stone grinding for days. Yeah. Stone grinding for days. Yeah. Some people find that therapeutic to grind the stone for days and days and hours. The pinch technique works especially well with snappy materials like obsidian. The pinch technique. I'm finding the obsidian. Well, I'm not going to doubt you because you understand what you need to do for your napping and it works, right? I mean, if you've nailed it down to where you know that it works, that's fine. I've just never had good results that I know that was the effect that was there because I can achieve the no bites on the edge if I'm more careful without support. Okay. I can achieve anything I want as long as I'm more careful without support of that type. The reason why am I not careful with all my napping and just be careful, because it drives me nuts. I have to do it in stages. I got to pace myself. It's the ADHD or something. I think it's the ADHD. I cannot do the methodical thing or be really careful all the time. It's not impatience, it's disgust. I don't like it. So I have to change it up. So it makes me look like I've got something wrong with me because I'm not doing it carefully like I know how to do all the time. But I can't do it that way. That's one of the reasons why I don't like doing large blades because there's just so much flaking. Let's just get this over with. Yeah. Let's see here. Charcoal Fish says, thank you. Jim Cooper, that sounds like when I set up a bevel as a platform in the late stage. I'm thinking about that correctly. Am I thinking about that? Never mind. I'm not. Mike Mason asked a question and oops, never mind. Jim Cooper, I think it adds strength to the edge so you can get away with hitting the edge harder. So the extra force is pushed into the flake rather than the bite. I don't know. A lot of this stuff sounds good, but try to get no bites on the edge without support and see how much different that is than using support. Is it in the swing? Are your swings different? A lot different, noticeably different without support to avoid the bites, or are the swings the same? Because if they're the same, chances are the support's not doing anything. Let's see. I used to use the benchtop and leather pad. Oh, okay. That does work too. I've seen people use a benchtop or tabletop. Not sure, Mike. I don't do a lot of beveled points. There aren't that many with obsidian. Yeah, pressure flaking you can do it on a tabletop with a pad underneath it. Well, my thoughts were about adding back pressure inside the stone. Adding back pressure inside the stone. Or in my case, often glass. Jesse says, hey, Patrick, I forgot to ask you have you seen the rolling method of the 2 strands of wet sinew rolling on the leg, twist them together? Yeah. You tried it, it works pretty good? All right. Awesome. Yeah. I can do it with long strands. I can do that rolling the strands on my leg if they're long. But as you can see in the previous video, I was dealing with strands that are like 6 inches or less. I can't roll those on my leg. I gotta do the thing. But yeah, I have done that rolling on the leg thing. Yeah, it does work, but when I used it, it didn't produce a tight enough wrap or tight enough twist. And when I tested the string, it does come apart more easily than if I'm sitting there twisting it by hand each time. I can twist it a lot tighter by hand than rather than rolling it on something. The rolling is to do something quick. I hope you know what I mean. I'll make sense one day. It doesn't have to be today. No, you don't have to. You don't have to make sense today. But yeah, I've seen the rolling of the two strands, and I've used that method. Yes. Charcoal Fish says, Mike Mason, I'm stealing that. Yeah. Jim Cooper, I use soft pads the way my hand naturally sits. It forms a channel between the base of my thumb and the pad of my hand near the pinky. I've tried hard pads, but I find them uncomfortable. Yeah. Well, it sounds like it works. It sounds like that soft pad technique works. I used to use a rolled up leather pad, but it was a little bit stiff. Yeah, a rolled up leather pad works for me as long as it's stiff leather. Or I'm working on a thick point. It was nice enough to nap outside today. Yeah, over there, I suppose. Yeah, I heard it was like in the 70s. Someone posted it was in the 70s today where they are. I guess it was Arizona or something. Midbar, Helipi here have the best hunting and gathering grounds. I need to make a friend so I don't get an arrow in a butt cheek. That's funny. I twisted the two pieces on the leg just to make them a little bit longer. Oops, someone deleted the comment. 50s. Robbie, temperatures in the 50s. That's perfect. I like it when temperatures in the 50s. But yeah, I was reading this book earlier in case you're new. I mean, not new, but in case you missed it in the early part of this live stream, I showed this book, Buffalo Bird Woman's Garden. I was thinking I'd find some stuff on tobacco. I need to look more closely. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's the latest thing that I've been delving into is some of the other related activities, so I don't get stuck in a rut and just do only Flintknapping. Okay, Jesse says, I did splice the two pieces by the roll method, but then did the cordage reverse wrap method. I see. Mike Mason said 46 degrees. Jim Cooper, I have to admit, it's nice to have the extra validity of you having seen my points, so you know at least I have some idea of what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why you're watching my channel. You already know how to do those big blades. And I mean, you already know the extremes, the big stuff, the small stuff, everything in between. You already know how to do all that stuff. I better check the glue. It's 46. And I don't doubt, Jim Cooper, I don't doubt what you're saying as far as the techniques that you use. But I push back a little bit because it's important for people to understand that nappers know their own techniques well. It doesn't necessarily translate to what others can do or what others will do or what others are able to understand that they can do. And I just wanted to make that clear. Like I've had other people when I was beginning, other people help me a lot. Or, I asked for advice and I still ask for advice on certain techniques and stuff, uh, but I noticed that this is one of the earliest things that I noticed that people have a narrow range of what works for them. And they know it very well when they get experienced in napping. And when they try to teach someone else that narrow range, it makes it more difficult on that person that's learning than if they were just to be left to do a little bit more, left with a little more freedom to do what they want to do, so they can find a little zone for themselves. Okay, because if I teach, like when I was teaching my kids how to nap, I did not, you know, instruct them on a very narrow range. I just said, look, you can use this tool this way, you can use that tool that way. Just pick it up and start using them. And the first thing they do is they say, it's too hard. I can't do it. So I said, yeah, no matter what technique you use, it's going to be hard. Just you had to develop some strength and stuff. So just come back and do it some other time because you'll be sore after doing it for an hour. You'll be sore. Just wait and come back another time and do it again. You'll get stronger. And after they get some strength in their hands and they get used to working with it, then they can start to zero in. But everyone has their own, like that little zone. It may match yours, but it usually doesn't. And I've found throughout my experiences that everyone has their own little zone. It's in different. I don't know how to explain it, but people will know what works for them. Like I know what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And when I tell you that that's what works for me or doesn't work for me, I'm not trying to dispute what you are telling me. I'm telling you what works for me and what I've noticed. It doesn't mean that you are wrong. Okay. Just wanted to make that clear because I think that I don't make those kinds of distinctions clear. It looks like I'm pushing back and being stupid about it. Let's see. Better check the glue. It's 46. Yeah. Don't let your PVA glue freeze. I think all woodworkers know that. On Star Trek, I saw a teardrop round knife the lizard man had. You ever nap something round? Yeah. It's called a discoidal disc, something like that. You can type in Jack Crafty discoidal, DISCOIDAL, and I think it'll come up one of my videos. Been looking at that Catlinite. I would love to see a Jack Crafty pipe carving video. Yeah, me too. I'd like to see a Jack Crafty pipe carving video. Yeah. Mostly it's the indirect. I almost never use it, and I'm trying to learn more. I see. Jim Cooper, I only offer up my advice as something to try because it works for me. Yeah, I understand completely. Also, why I watch your channel, you have a different way of doing it, so I learn more ideas of ways to solve or prevent problems. Yeah, if it works for you. I've had people tell me, I tried the way you do it, and I can't make any of it work. I said, well, that's fine. It's to be expected if you're not on that same wavelength. That's the word I was looking for before. People are on different wavelengths. Some people do not and cannot do it the way I do it, and I understand it. And I can't do it the way some other people do it. Yeah. Nappers are adapters. Yep, they do. They can adapt. Yes. It's a rare quality, though. They're most adaptable when you first start. The glue looks good. I fixed the white with more glue and a wet brush. Okay, good. Jim Cooper, also like you have the autism and ADHD, so I'm very thorough and almost anal about my thought process when I think about anything. I see. Yeah, I am neurodivergent for sure. The pizza cutter is cool. I think you phrased the methodology of learning quite well. Napping is quite dynamic, and the cool thing is that you can adapt to the quirks you have. A variety of advice with different things is best. Probably so. That knife on Star Trek was like a long, narrow cone. I can't imagine how the Gorn did it with the recording device. It's been a long time since I've watched that Star Trek episode. Hmm. It seems like he just had a, yeah, like you said, a long stone, sharp stone. I made it tonight. Hey, Alan Cole. But I'll be preparing for work tonight. You have some smokers in the auction. Oh, thanks. Which reminds me. Well, I'll check it here in a minute. I probably not have not put any likes, or not probably. I haven't put any likes on any of the bids yet, except when I checked it before the live stream. Yeah, the episode's called the Arena Star Trek episode. Yeah, this is one where Captain Kirk gathers minerals and makes a cannon. Yes, yes. And he creates a spark with quartz and something else. Something you said earlier about big blades taking too much time. I find the opposite is true for me. The early stages go so fast. It's the finishing stages and tiny pressure flaking that takes me forever. Yeah, I see. I have no signs of OCD. I should care more. Smallzilla. I remember you mentioning the whole aliens teaching humans to nap thing a good a while back. Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. And ever since learning, it's been quite entertaining. Yeah, yeah. I've heard lots of different stories from people who thought that they were being serious. Well, they think they're serious, but yeah, some people are so funny. When I first got into napping, or when I first got in the, let's say, when I first got on the internet, people were talking about napping in ways that would make all of us cringe right now. Because there was one guy I remember extremely confident of himself, and he knew how to form a thought experiment within a few seconds. He would just, you could tell the guy could type at 90 words a minute or something. And he came up with this explanation that there's no possible way that one stone hitting another stone could remove flakes in the ways that he saw on artifacts. There's no way. And he got into all this technical stuff about how the stone would not shatter or fracture in the proper ways and blah, 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 blah. So he concluded, my conclusion is stone upon stone is not the way they were napped. So funny. They don't say that anymore. Yeah. I used to get comments like that about aluminum. Aluminum does not work. You can try it, make a fool out of yourself, but it will not work. And I've tried it. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't like to see you be wrong, but it is what it is. I remember you mentioning, let's see, I have OCD too. That can be a great thing in napping, but also hinder you as you are never satisfied. So keep trying to go thinner and thinner. I don't have a stop there filter yet. Yeah. It's okay. Eventually you'll hit yourself against that brick wall so many times that you'll not continue. You'll know when to stop eventually. I just remember that Star Trek episode because Conehead starts with the radar techs watching it. Oh, okay. How did you guys learn to thin? I just smack it until it breaks in half. Snap and scavenge. Yeah, it takes a while to learn to thin. A long time. Patrick, I watched a video about you making birch pitch. What did you think of it compared to pine pitch? I heard it's more waterproof. It's not more waterproof, but it's a lot better uh, in terms of flexibility. But it depends on how long you cook it. The birch tar becomes very brittle the longer you cook it. The more it outgasses, because it produces gases when you cook it, you have to make sure you don't heat it for too long, or all those there's volatile chemicals within the birch tar that will come out that you need in the birch tar to keep it flexible. Birch tar is 10 times better than pine rosin when it's prepared correctly. Pine rosin is pine rosin. Usually, no matter how much you heat it, it's still very brittle. But birch tar starts out as flexible and then becomes more and more brittle the longer you have it boiling. You know what I'm saying? It's not really boiling, but it's bubbling. And what that means is it's outgassing all those things it needs to be flexible. Yeah. Throw your rocks in the fire till they're hot and throw them into ice water and snap them, or once they're heated using a wet willow stick, pressure flake, and you try that. Also, I'll try not to take you back 13 years so often. Yeah. I can't. Let's see. Scab. I can't. I tried so many times. I can pressure flake okay. I always felt aluminum to be too light, but I'm used to heavier tools than most folks. Yeah. The brick wall I hit sometimes is doing dumb basal hits on my preforms. Yeah. It's like driving towards a pothole but thinking you'll swerve and miss, but you run right into it. Got to stop doing that. Results in a lot of snaps. Yeah. Broke lots of pieces about a year before I started getting thin pieces. Watching Pat and others help big time. Yeah. Well, I mean, tell me what specifically you are doing for your thinning. For me, is just knowing that narrow range of where to apply the force and uh, how thick the edge needs to be, how concave the surface needs to be. It varies with different materials. Some materials, everything has to be perfect. Other materials, you can get away with all kinds of stuff and it still produce a long flake to thin down the piece. The rule for thinning, of course, is to, make sure your flakes go halfway or more. Just don't go too far because it'll start to dive too much. Most flakes will dive quickly because they like convex surfaces, but some flakes will skim across the top more easily than other flakes. It depends on the material mostly. I'm still trying to figure out if there's a sure way as a technique to get the flakes to skim across and not dive, other than with pressure flaking. I want to do a percussion technique that'll cause the flakes to skim, but it tends to work better with a pressure flaker because you can keep pushing on it and the flakes kind of bump into each other and skim across the top. Because the flake will break, but if it keeps pushing, it'll push another part off. That might break, but it'll keep pushing and pushing. You'll get little snaps in between, but you'll have one long flake. And it's difficult to do that with percussion unless you have a very soft tool. And most of the soft tools, they wear out so fast that they become very frustrating to use. And they don't always give consistent results while they're wearing out. It's that variable changes the whole ball game when you're starting and when you're ending with that soft percussion tool. Anyways, let's see. I broke a lot of pieces, but let's see. Grinding and platforms preparation work. It's an art and science for sure. Thinning for me is getting over the fear of giving a bit more inward force once I get somewhat regular surface, no dips and islands. That and adding more angle to my indirect. It's all anxiety for me. Yeah. I mean, you could see that I had issues with the Danish flint as it started to get thin. I hesitated to hit hard enough, and the flakes don't travel far enough. But it probably saved that one piece from breaking in half. I'd rather have steps and islands and stuff rather than breaking it in half. Yeah. On my napping, I need to better prevent step fractures. Yeah. I spent an entire year doing nothing but trying to prevent step fractures. And I didn't do any videos during that year. What's the secret? You don't bite off more than you can chew. Most of the step fractures occur when you try to take a flake that's too big. Yeah. On my napping, I need to better prevent step. Yeah, okay. AM, hello. We still got a few minutes. I'm going to kill the live stream here in about 4 minutes. So hello and almost goodbye. Jim Cooper, Smallzilla, the thing that helped me with smooth thinning is making sure you're getting enough space between each flake so that it doesn't dive into the previous flakes. I see. Napping is very complicated to explain. There's too many variables in the tools, materials, and the experience, the weather, everything. Oh, yeah. Ed Gould says, bye-bye. Adios. Night all. Yep. Live stream is ending at 8 p.m. The next live stream is going to be Wednesday. I'm going to be napping 2 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern. I will be napping in my kitchen. I don't like it. But it's good that I'll get some napping in the live stream. Answer questions. I'll be napping and trying to answer questions at the same time. And reading comments. Brutus Thunderbird, you just got to hold your tongue right? Yeah, I suppose so. Good night from San Diego. Okay, what did you do today? Are you asking me what I did today? I posted the auction. I finished some items up this morning too, at the last minute, but I didn't get to finish them all. I don't know if it's just how I settled into my methods, but I can do parallel flaking pretty easy. So I tend to have a little issues with that. Good tip though, thanks. Awesome auction pieces for sure, not mostly bifaces. Thanks. Oh, you're very welcome. I worked today, moved about 7 tons. Oh, dang. Get your bids in, yes. 1 more hour till the end of the auction. The auction ends at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'll be checking right now. I'll put the likes on all the bids. I haven't done that for the last couple hours. Yeah, I got lots of bids coming in, or that already came in. Ed Gould, you're not seeing. The problem is, Ed Gould, you're not seeing other bids sometimes. Yeah. And sometimes I guess people are not seeing your bids. That's an issue I don't know how to resolve. So what I'm going to try to do is just try to announce what the highest bid is in the comment section myself. I'll say the highest bid is yada, yada, yada. So hopefully everyone will see my comment and know what the highest bid currently is. Great live streaming. Great auction, Patrick. Thanks, Jesse. Definitely keeping my eyes on another Scottsbluff. Yep, that will be one. Have a good night, everybody. Yeah, Mike says good night. Thanks for your feedback. Jim Cooper says it means more coming from another napper. See you Wednesday. See you Wednesday, Jim. Yep. Thank you for commenting. I take what I really want. I'm going to spool you backwards, see what you did. What if the bud lasted 3 days and each person was allowed to bid once a day? What if the auction lasted 3 days and each person was allowed to bid once a day? That'd take too long. Good night, all. Okay, Alan. All right, it's 8 o'clock Eastern time. Have a good night. You too. I'll see you all on the next live stream or the next video. All righty, good night.